Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. So let's see if we can't get there before November 5th. Now, I want to talk about something. It's extremely, extremely important. And it's something that I've talked about on television called sane washing. We cannot ignore the sane washing of the threat that Trump poses to our country. In Glendale, Arizona, Trump went on and he spoke to Tucker Carlson about Liz Cheney. This is no joke, and we cannot allow them to change the tone, to change what Donald has been saying, to try to make sense of it. Play the clip.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Dude, we're talking about a firing squad. He's talking about going back to the days where the king, angry at people, would turn around and line them up by a wall before a 9-person firing squad where they are pointing the barrels, as Donald says, at her face. This is not normal conversation. This is not somebody who should have the authority to make a decision on anything, least of all, somebody's life. I mean, this is really, really horrendous. And in Henderson, Nevada, he goes on and he tells the crowd that he is the least threat to our American democracy, and that he and he alone is the one who will protect democracy. Play this clip.
This is, we call him a threat to democracy. They look at me, I'm a threat to democracy. I am the least threat. I'm the one saving our democracy.
Save it? How? By turning around and saying that his political enemies, that his critics should be jailed, that they should be incarcerated, picked up by our military, by SEAL Team 6, that folks like 4-star General Milley should be publicly executed, as should, for example, the president of NBC or other networks that he finds haven't played up to his fragile ego. And now Liz Cheney, the war hawk, right? The low IQ individual should be put before a firing squad. This is a guy who's trying to protect democracy. And we're allowing this conversation, we're allowing these comments to take place while you're listening to a crowd of morons applauding this sort of nonsense. What if it was their family member? What if it was their neighbor? What if it was their friend that all of a sudden creates some sort of an ire to Donald Trump and ends up before a firing squad? But don't worry, we'll just come and say to you, well, he's doing it to protect democracy. I'm curious how they would respond then. Because then he brings up the debate again. He cannot let this go, calling Kamala a sleazebag. Why? He lost the debate. He knows he looked like a fucking fool. And so he has to keep attacking it. Why? Because the goal is to keep repeating the lie over and over and over again until the lie ultimately becomes the truth. And the lie is that Donald Trump made any sense during that debate and that he did not lose the debate decisively. Play the clip.
Never been rallies like this. When that sleazebag said during the debate, she said, oh, your rallies aren't well attended and people leave. They don't leave, and they're really well attended. We can't get places big enough. And then I said, no, The rallies are the biggest in history. We never have, just like this is a part of a rally. We never had an empty seat, and nobody leaves early. And you know what? If I saw people leaving, you know what I'd do? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make America great again. Goodbye, everybody. And everybody would be happy. Nobody would leave. But we don't have to do that. Nobody leaves. It's a love fest. It's never happened before. This has never happened before. He's a big fan.
The ramblings of a lunatic mind right then and there. You've seen on this show, and all you need to do is go look at some of the clips from some of my past episodes where we show you people marching to the door. What do you mean? There's never been an empty seat in any of his rallies? That they're always full, that they could fill up any venue? No, he can't. In fact, he didn't even fill up Madison Square Garden, despite the fact that, again, they lie, and that's what they keep saying. Oh, there was hundreds of thousands of people out in the street. No, there weren't. No, there weren't. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, you couldn't even fill up the 18,000 Madison Square Garden Arena. There were whole sections that were just roped off for whatever the reason may be, most probably because they could not fill it. He then goes on, and it pisses me off with Tucker Carlson just sitting there smiling, and everybody there is laughing at this sort of nonsense. Why? Because Trump called Kamala sleazebag. I called Donald Trump on shits and pants. I don't see people standing up in the streets and applauding me on that. Why? Because they're not supposed to. Kamala's not a sleazebag. She's his opponent. That's what makes her a sleazebag to him. He then continues with this violent rhetoric, right? As he is beginning to spread the lie. He's sowing the lie, like you do when you're planting something. You put in, you put it in the seed and you wait for it to grow. That's what he's doing right now. He's spreading the seed of lies regarding voter fraud. Because he knows he's going to lose, so he has to now start setting it up in a way that he will have an ability to go back to it when he does lose. Play the clip.
If they don't cheat too much, we found a lot of things over the last 3 days. You've seen that. We found a lot of votes, and in a certain county, in York County, Lancaster County, we found a lot of bad votes. There were 2,600 votes that happened to be written by the same pen, same hand, same signature, same everything. Maybe there's an explanation for that. 2,600 votes. But we found a lot of stuff, but we're seeing to work it out.
And again, I have to draw the attention directly to Tucker Carlson. Notice what Trump does, and he does this very effectively. Oh, you know that. And Tucker doesn't say anything. Really? What's he talking about? Really? There's 2,600. Imagine if there was even one. Imagine if there was even one. Trump would have copies of it. How he even has copies of these, I have no idea. But he would have it, and he would be creating ads galore. He would have Elon Musk putting it out there on X, and they would start putting it on the Untruth Social and getting it out there that this is what's going on, that there is voted for it. Instead, what does he do? He plants the seed. He goes ahead and he then throws it into Tucker's lap and says, oh, you know this, right? You read all that. You know all about this. And people who are now kind of, what's the right way to describe them? Oblivious to reality, that believe that things that Trump says and Tucker Carlson said are true. The fact that Tucker doesn't oppose a lie that Trump is saying now validates it and makes it into a truth. This is how screwed up this election has become under somebody like Donald J. Trump. And I want to end on a clip of Trump speaking ill of America. You see, it's not just Kamala Harris that he hates. It's not just his political enemies, his critics, the media that doesn't kiss his ass, those that don't bend a knee and offer total fealty and loyalty to him. He speaks ill of the United States of America, the country that he wants to run for the presidency of. Play the clip.
Our country we're riddled with crime. Every city, you take a look at it, it's falling apart. They smell, they're dirty, They're criminal ridden.
Yeah. Boy, I don't even know what country he's talking about. I mean, they smell, there's violence, there's crime, there's this, there's that. This man is delusional. No, seriously, that's the only way to describe him. It is delusional. It is fear-mongering, it's gaslighting, it's delusional. This is not somebody who belongs behind the Lincoln desk, in the Oval Office, in the Capitol. He does not. And it's why I will end this episode as I do all. Vote.org. That's where you got to go to make sure that you're registered to vote. And more importantly, on November 5th, take as many friends with you. Take as many family members with you. Take anybody that you can with you and make sure that they vote Harris Walz 2024 because our country's future depends on it. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.